Nope, not gonna work. Well, that was sketch. But wait till you see what I was riding on. Yeah. Check this out. Yep. That's right. Cabane. Shock Monster gear, Shock Monster shocks, Shock Monster. We're gonna be putting this stuff on the good old banana. This is gonna get me into the backcountry. This is the upgrade I've wanted to have since the beginning. Just watching all the videos on YouTube and aspiring to be that bush pilot. Well, I'm gonna take you guys along with me through the process of installing it. And just remember, I'm not an A&P, I'm not a mechanic, just a guy with a bush plane trying to maximize its potential. So hopefully, if you guys are interested in actually putting this gear on, this video might help you, especially if you have a RANS S7. It's supposed to be pretty straightforward, no welding. So yeah, I'm kind of excited, a little nervous. Gotta lift the plane up, take the old gear off. It's kind of a process, drain the brake fluid, little things like that. Note is you'll need longer brake lines, and you're gonna have to drill into the fabric from what I'm reading. Let's not fuck this up. All right, so here we are. Got some nice moody Halloween lighting to give us some light. It's very dim in this hangar. So the first thing that I'm gonna do are remove these floorboards because I need to get to some mounting points here. So I'm gonna have to take the rudder pedals, disconnect the connections for that to remove these floorboards. It'll just be easier instead of having it hoisted up and doing it then. I also gotta inspect, and this will be a good time to inspect some of these welds down here, the connections, and there's supposed to be some float fittings, is what it, for if this plane were to be fitted with floats. It's supposed to be underneath this board, so let's hope there are. I mean, I think I had some back here because this plane was originally on floats. So let's see what's on. I don't know what they mean by float fittings because the connections they have are just clamps. So we're gonna check that out. So let's get to it. We're gonna need our trusty hammer, the broken giant ratchet. Okay, time to do the other side. I'm not gonna bore you with it, but I'm gonna time lapse it. So let's do that right now. All right, so the instructions say that you're supposed to bolt the L-shaped brackets, which are these, to the float fittings aft of the main gear support or mounting points. I don't have float fittings from what I'm seeing. So I did email Tony at TK1, and he's been awesome. He gets back to his customers pretty quickly. Very informative, very helpful. Can't say anything bad at all. So far the process, even though I'm really not into the process yet, has been great. So these L-shaped brackets are supposed to mount on the outside here. You're supposed to match drill holes through this plate, through the fabric, and into here, which is where the float fittings are supposed to be. So I don't see those. That's good. So I know my plane is what I guess they would consider an early model. It's a 2009, I believe. it did have floats originally, and I think I don't know if you can see down here. There's mounts right here. I put a bolt in there just to fill it up. You actually see right here. Right here, and then underneath, I've got a GoPro mount through the float mount hole, and you can see right. My shot of it right there. So that's what that little GoPro mount. It's a bolt going through there. So I'm guessing the float mounts were changed, or when the plane was built, maybe for a specific type of floats. I don't remember which kind were on this. So it's kind of unfortunate, but there are little clamps. It just doesn't mention anything about that in the instructions. So I emailed, as I mentioned, Tony at TK1, and we'll see what he says. So yeah, those little clamps, I mean, they fit right around the frame. I just wish there was something said about it in the instructions. So we will find out. And what makes me curious is when you put these in, are my floorboards going to be able to sit flush? That's going to be something I got to figure out. Maybe I haven't opened up all the packaging yet. Maybe there's spacers to raise the floorboard up or something. This is going to be spread out over a couple days because there's no way I'm going to do this in one day. But I got the floorboards out. It's right here. I'm probably going to take this time to sand them, make them all nice, stain them again. And so what we're going to do is, it's going to get sketched, but up there's a beam, and I'm going to hang a electric winch from it and hopefully be able to winch the plane up. Yeah, I mean, it's barely 750 pounds, and I'm not lifting the whole thing up, so let's try this out. So I need a ladder. I just need to get a ladder. I'm trying to get it up on the beam there, and I just can't get the straps are too long, and then if they're too short, I can't get the hoist up there. I think I'm just gonna start with bleeding the brakes. We're gonna empty all the brake fluid and maybe just start dismantling the leg gear, like the fairings and stuff like that, and we'll start there until I figure out what I'm going to do with this hoist. So what you're going to have is these fairings that come off the gear legs. This is the early model RANS gear, where it's just these skinny pogo sticks, as I call them. But this is the fairing it's just pretty simple piece of sheet metal. There's some rivets that you have to drill out, which were kind of a pain because I didn't put them in great when I did the tires, but you know, save them in case you ever want to go back. I mean, why would you want to go back? But we're gonna take the pogo sticks out. Here's the pogo stick. This is your brake line. I have the stainless steel already installed, but I think I'm gonna have to get longer ones. But anyways, we're gonna take apart the brakes now and get those removed. This, you're gonna wanna keep them all together. You don't really wanna use the pads from one side on the other side. So, and what position? I have the dual, so I have the dual caliper brakes from Matco. Great for stopping power. So it's 2 calipers, 2 sets of brake pads, and let's get at it. Back. I took a break on the hoist situation and consulted the hive mind on Facebook, and I've been told that it's okay to hoist from this area. Temporary. It's more of just to because I don't know if you can see, I'm putting right there. I'm putting sawhorses down so that it'll support it and stabilize it, because once I get this thing going, then the plane starts to wobble. So, but I've got it mounted to the rafters, and it's working out pretty good. I got a hold of TK1, Tony, who's awesome, and he gave me a way better rundown of the instructions compared to what came with it. I don't know if they just need to be updated or they're just tweaks, but he almost responded within a couple hours. It was pretty cool. Long email about how to do this. So I'll show you where we're at right now. So what you're gonna wanna do is center the gear leg mount in the actual mount. You can see here, the scratch. Oh no, that's not good. Anyways, you can see I've used these AN washers to center this mount. So by doing this, you can fit it up on the plane and get the proper toe. The toe is the gear being like this or like this, I believe. One of the two. Toe is this way, yeah. Yeah, because you got your toes here, toes, little piggies. So we're gonna get to that. I actually have Koozie coming over. He's gonna help me. I wanna put 2 sawhorses underneath the belly here to stabilize it before I really lift it off. All I have to do is take the tires off, and the gear leg poles will, undo that bolt and they'll slide right out. And then it's right into putting these on. Unless there's some weird stuff going on, it should not take too long. I'm gonna take my time, but one thing to note is, so the holes these bolts went through on both the gear leg and the mounts, I think they were just thickly coated in powder coating because I couldn't get the bolts through no matter what. So I took a 3/8 drill bit, which is the size of the bolts, and kind of just reamed it out carefully. Otherwise I couldn't get the bolts in there. I started freaking out thinking I had the wrong bolts, but that was the only way I could really make that happen. And then once we get these test fitted, we have to drill these L brackets. These L brackets, and you put the clamps in. So it's all about finding where these sit to then get the front toe with these, because the Cabane V, which is this, is actually adjustable now. So with the Cabane V being adjustable, you can now adjust that toe. We'll see what happens when we get to that point. So I'm just gonna kind of prep it. Hopefully Koozie will be here soon. You've seen him in a lot of my motorcycle videos. Also going to Oshkosh, which I'll link up here. Fun times, he's a cool dude. Fun guy to be around. And not much into aviation, but he's down for anything fun, and come help me maybe learn something about planes. Got the first gear leg off. This is what it looks like. It's kind of interesting. I didn't know it had this little skinny part in the center. I wonder what the purpose of that was. Weight maybe, or maybe it's for flexibility. That's a possibility. But this thing weighs a ton. I'm gonna have to weigh all this stuff beforehand and see what the weight difference is. So you've got the axle right here. I'm gonna have to take this gold brass plate off. That's for the brakes, but we'll get to that once we get to actually putting the brakes on. So we're gonna test fit this first gear leg. So I took the bearings out and put them in a box here, a clean box right there. Don't want to get them dirty, so keep those there and try to keep as much of the lube there. I don't have any extra lube at the moment, so.
The only thing I did is I went over those road tits.
Road tits.
Those little white dots.
Koozie's here. Koozie's here. You guys might remember him from that shirt he's wearing. Show him the shirt.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Oshkosh. It's sketchy. It's a little sketchy, but he's gonna help me out here. So let's get to it. I've got one leg test fitted, and it's fitting all right. I gotta do some tweaks, but I'm gonna mark the back here. See, you mark with a Sharpie to where this lands, and that way, when you go to mount it, you can get the exact mount spot.
I hope you don't lose power. If you lose power, is that just gonna go?
I don't know, to be honest. Should I have tested that beforehand?
Maybe. I just wondered. I see power lights, and what happens if you lose power? Is that thing gonna go?
I hope not. Shit. That's kind of worrisome, huh?
I mean, there's no hydraulic in it. It's being held by electricity, I would think.
Is it really?
I don't know, because I don't know what that is, but
let me get the manual out. We gotta get the manual out.
right about 4.5.
We put the tiny tires on. Trust me, I'm not that much of an idiot. What did you learn from this experience?
That we can take these wheels on and off 20 times.